YouTube, it's Kathy, and welcome back to another weekly entertainment wrap-up. This is for the third week of the year, which is January 15th to 21st of 2017. Although I did a lot of reading this week, I only finished one book, I watched 2 shows, I listened to 1 podcast, I DNF'd 1 book that I was listening to, and I finished a book I was listening to. The book I started and finished this week is Your Heart is a Muscle the Size of a Fist, which takes place in 1999 in Seattle during a protest of the World Trade Organization. Because I was 13 years old at the time of this protest, and I didn't really know what a protest was, not to mention I had no idea where Seattle was and that it was so close to me, I didn't know that this was going on. But since I've now visited Seattle several times since that point, it was interesting to read this book and actually know the locations that they were talking about. I couldn't pinpoint them exactly in my mind, but there would be street names talked about and I'd be like, I've definitely been there. This book jumps perspectives through several different characters that are around the protest, whether or not they are protesting, whether or not they are police, or whether or not they're a delegate from Sri Lanka. And because of this, it gives several different viewpoints about protesting, and about this protest in particular. I read this book as part of the NerdCon Nerdfighteria book club, which I'll be attending next month, so I'm looking forward to speaking about it in depth with everybody else who ends up reading it. So if you're going to be in Boston on the 25th and 26th of February, and you want to attend a really awesome book club, NerdCon Nerdfighteria. This week in Grey's Anatomy, I went from season 6, episode 20, to season 8, episode 8, so I watched about a season and a half. And so much happens in this time that I didn't even really wrap my brain around how much had happened until I talked to a friend at work who's also watching the series, but much more slowly because she's watching it disc by disc and getting it out of the library. So I asked her where she was, and she's like, oh, this character just showed up again, and I don't know how to feel about this character, and I'm going, oh yeah, that was so long ago. I am not going to spoil anything for you. Although I did end up telling her that the woman that plays Callie Torres, Sarah Ramirez, does have a Tony, because that's something I figured out recently, for reasons that people that have seen the 7th season might know. This week I also rewatched episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the first season of How to Get Away with Murder because Shonda rhymes yes. Because my partner's one of those people that likes to watch things that they've liked before and has never seen this before, it's really, really fun to watch him go, I want to keep watching, this show is so good! 'Cause he's not wrong. This week I listened to the best of episode of Dear Hank and John, so even though I've listened to every episode before, it was really fun to listen back and be like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that whole tangent they went on. I also started listening to Dear Alice as an audiobook, and right from the beginning I couldn't really get into it, and I think that it might be mostly because of the upper crust British accent that the narrator had. There's a lot of personal stereotypes, at least for me, that go along with a very hoity-toity British accent, and I just could not get into it. Also, the last time I tried to listen to an audiobook with a similar accent, it was Jane Austen, and it was just after the US election results, and wow, did I ever not want to listen to an uppity British person of power talk about people who don't have power. So yeah, I stopped listening to that one. The one I did finish listening to this week, though, was Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda, and this book was freaking adorable. This book centers around Simon, who's our protagonist, 16 at the beginning, has his 17th birthday during the book. And for the past few months, he's been anonymously emailing somebody else at his school who also happens to be gay, but is not out about it. Through this email correspondence, they are definitely falling in love. However, someone that Simon knows from Drama Club is blackmailing him because he finds out about this and just wants Simon's help to get this girl to like him, which is totally schmarmy. It's a really adorable read. It's really great as an audiobook. I really loved the narrator in this book. And because I really love letter writing books, I really love the mixture of prose and then him and Blue having email conversations back and forth. I found that freaking adorable. That's it for this week. If you've read, listened to, or watched any of these, let me know down in the comments below. Please don't spoil it for other people. If all goes well in editing today, I should have another video going up about the Diversathon and the books that I've picked up for that, so watch out for that. Of course, the best way to watch out for that is to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you see fit. You can also like and share this if you feel so inclined, and I will see you next time. Bye!